Hi folks, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree. I'm sitting a little extra close to the camera today because I don't have my microphone hooked up because I'm about out of juice. So don't mean to trigger you with a big old watermelon head, but I just want to be heard here on this video. So in the last live stream, I addressed 25 of the 50 characteristics of thriving like gold, having some golden quality thriving in your life. And I'm going to address, I don't know if I'll get through all 25. I just want to talk for about 15 minutes, and I'll probably just end at 15 minutes. But I'm going to talk some more about golden thriving, turning the mud and dirt and filth and pain and sweat and blood of narcissistic abuse and transmuting it like an alchemist over time through your recovery into gold. So wanted to read a quote by a man named William H. Gass. He wrote, "The true alchemists do not change lead into gold. They change the world into words." And that's what writers do, is we try to communicate what the world is like and we put it into words. And that's what I'm trying to do to help you guys with your recovery process. So wanted to read another quote, and I just saw this on Facebook, and I think it applies to a spirit of healthy detachment. And I don't know who wrote this, but it spoke to me. One morning, she woke up different, done with trying to figure out who was with her, who was against her, or walking down the middle because they just didn't have the guts to pick a side. She was done with anything that didn't bring her peace. She realized that opinions were a dime a dozen, validation was for parking, and loyalty wasn't a word, but a lifestyle. It was this day that her life changed, and not because of a man or a job, but because she realized that life is way too short to leave the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket. So I love that because, it said she was done with anything that didn't bring her peace. And I'm at a similar place in my journey. I'm going to do what brings me blessing and peace, and I'm going to have the courage to take some chances and some risks. All right, so these are some of the aspects of healthy thriving. Number 26, develop a healthy fear of dating. I'm just going to read this from the book. So I'm giving you part of the new book. If you were viciously narcissistically abused and a year later you're not terrified of dating, you're probably going to get another dose of narcissistic abuse. I certainly did. And again, I can't recommend it. I frequently ask the newly single if they're terrified of dating, and most of them give me a big old goofy Gomer Pyle smile and tell me that in fact they're not terrified at all. And I just want to shake them at that point, and I want to slap that goofy Gomer Pyle smile off their face and instill some healthy fear into them. Because if you're not afraid and you're naturally attracted to monsters who love the scent of you, then you're going to get your ass kicked again. Healthy fear is a good thing. It'll keep you out of trouble. Strike the balance between having enough fear and not having too much. Number 27, you're going to have the opportunity to have some financial comebacks. My clinical supervisor, Rick Gustafson, once gave me a little granite plaque that said congratulations. And he gave this to me back about 2014, because I dug myself out of debt from my first rodeo, my first crash and burn from narcissistic abuse. I had gotten myself into $122,000 of credit card debt for a variety of out of control, irresponsible reasons. Between a divorce and buying a new house and not having experience managing money and then having to go to a treatment center, I managed to sign myself up for some serious financial destruction. Then during the next 7 years, I dug myself out of that hole and I had a financial comeback. And even though I had this monstrous leech named Susan sucking me dry the whole time. But then in 2015, another financial tsunami came that would cause more destruction emotionally and financially than the one in 2007. I have a Chinese fortune cookie taped to the mirror in my bathroom. It says, with consistency and with integrity, your credits are piling up. And that inspired me to just keep putting one foot in front of the other and paying off one bill at a time. And I knew my credits, my financial credits were piling up. So recovery is turning your life from the ashes of trauma into precious gold. And it means making ultimately an amazing financial recovery as well. Narcissistic abuse almost always will destroy your finances. Can I get an amen from anybody out there been through that? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm mounting a new comeback, and I believe in coming back from narcissistic abuse and having a more blessed life. Number 28, you'll have deep insight into movies and music and art as a recovering person. Narcissistic abuse is frequently chronicled in books and movies and plays and even in music. What better bad guy could there be than a malignant narcissist, right? All the great movie bad guys are psychopaths and malignant narcissists. And it's been my pleasure to review probably about 20 movies on YouTube or in my blog, and then to present them to you folks. Understanding narcissistic abuse will give you a key and help you to be a keen observer and commentator upon our culture. Number 29, one of the blessings of thriving and having a golden life is emotional depth. You might hear Mr. Pauly snoring in the background. He's taking him a little snooze over there. So going through this process of make you deep. You might say, I don't want to be so damn deep. The price of admission is way too steep. And I didn't want to be this deep either, but there are benefits to it. We do have depth, we do have keen perceptions, we do have understanding, and we have a great level of emotional awareness and intelligence. The depth came at a very high price, but it's a good thing. Number 30, spirituality. And I'm not preaching any particular religion here, I'm just saying that going through this process will make you a praying man or a praying woman. If you didn't believe in God and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's thunderclouds that feel like that are attacking your sanity with thunder and lightning, who are you going to call out to for help? Recovery is a very spiritual journey. You don't have to be religious, but if you're deep and if you're wise, you're going to be spiritual. I got an email from my older brother who's a real super fanatical Christian, and he asked, well, where is God in my plans to focus on being a writer and to make my way to the beach full time? And I said, God is right at the center of my plans. I feel Him in my writing, and I feel Him coming through me as I work as a therapist, but also as I work making these videos, because God cares about you folks. And who's He going to send? He's going to send somebody who's been through it. He's going to send somebody who knows how you feel, because they're still struggling with it. 31, Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome will make you more interesting. Our scars give us character and uniqueness, and they make us so much more interesting. I must be the most interesting man alive, like the Mexican beer commercial then. This is a quote from Jane Fonda. You don't learn from successes. You don't learn from awards. You only learn from wounds and scars and mistakes and failures. Number 32, you're going to become more intuitive as a result of this process. While I don't notice some covert narcissists immediately, it usually doesn't take me too long to figure them out anymore. I still get fooled for a little bit, but the time that somebody can love bomb me professionally or in any other way before I figure out who they are, that time's over. You must have a finely honed intuition in order to survive in this very dangerous world. Number 33, you realize you got options in the world. With the additional passion and calling and creativity, you realize there are a lot of options career-wise in this world. You don't have to just clutch on to who you used to be or what you used to been doing. You can move forward into finding a new, true home of belonging. Number 34, you're going to earn respect as you have a solid recovery process. When you embrace your recovery with courage and honor and wisdom and with zeal, people will see you for who you are, and they're going to gain respect for you. Number 40, fierceness. One of my favorite videos that I made of mine was made in South Haven, Michigan, by the river, and it rained that day in buckets, and it thundered the whole time I made the video. You can barely hear me say anything, and it was all about being a fierce warrior in recovery and how this condition will make you the fiercest of warriors on the planet. As you gather your strength and as you clear your head and as you calm your body, you will someday become somebody that nobody wants to make the fatal mistake of ever messing with you. It's not revenge. You weren't mean, but you hold strength and fierceness, and that is substantial, and it's powerful, and it's tangible, and it makes you feel alive. What is this? 25? I guess it's. I've lost count of where I'm at. 36, I think. You're going to have more of a connection with nature. The healthier you get, I believe that you'll naturally develop a closer relationship with nature. A few weeks ago, I wrote a poem about lying down and falling asleep in a bed of clover by my sacred river. And I feel peaceful and spiritual just imagining that lovely bed of clover by my sacred river. Your heart will start calling you to the out of doors to become one with the beauty of nature. In trying to locate a new true home of belonging, recently was surrounded by deer and swan and just the beautiful, majestic power of the ocean, and it made me feel at home. With this narcissistic abuse, you're going to find out who your real friends are. because you don't always know who your real friends are. But if you go through this process, as there's flying monkey attacks and there's lieutenants psychologically working for greater narcissists who are interrogating you, you'll figure out which ones are your friends and which ones are not your friends, who are the safe sheep and who are the dangerous wolves. Sometimes I'm very shocked at someone who I thought had my back because they professed to love me, and then I learned later they were infected by some narcissistic person's venom. So I'm going to end with one last one, and that is that 38. You can imagine a new life. As you get healthier, you'll naturally reinvent your life. And you'll have a healthy vision, a reimagining, if you will, of who you are and what your place in the world is. In a poem that I quoted earlier in the book, David White brilliantly said, "Everything or everybody who doesn't make you come alive is too small for you. Give up all the other worlds except the one that you truly belong to." So I'm at 16 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end there. But those are just some of the benefits and the goodies that you get from this wonderful blessing called Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome. Because you can turn the destruction and the crap and the mud and the hate and the tears and the blood, you can turn those into blessing. You can be transformed. You can be transmuted into somebody who thrives and who is way better and way happier than you were before. I got to run. I'm running late getting to on-site today. I'm going for 4 days for a trauma treatment program. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and buy that book. You can get it on Kindle or you can get it at our website, familytreecounseling.com. It's called The Alchemist, Transforming Narcissistic Abuse into Gold. Thank you for watching, folks. God bless.